Alright guys, so let us continue really quickly here. So, at this point we are now introduced to yet another main character who apparently came back to the world after a big long absence. His job class is called Long Arm. His name is Krim, and he meets Tsukasa in a cave. He talks to him, but Tsukasa just warps out again using a sprite ocarina. He really doesn't want any friends. He meets up with Subaru, who apparently he knows her from the past. They talk a little bit. They're like, yeah, memories. The area where Tsukasa stays becomes yet still is unpleasant. He doesn't understand why. The Maha explains to him that the reason he can't control the Guardian is because he has a weak heart. Like, he needs to be strong on the inside in order to truly control the beast. And I need to note that Maha doesn't speak in words. Like, during this series you don't actually hear the voice of Maha. It moves its mouth, and Tsukasa's like the only one that can hear him, so it's a weird thing, like, you know. Sora contacts Silver Knight, who he gives him an idea and says that the Crimson Knights should gather together and create some sort of rumor on the boards. The rumor should go something along the lines of a character that in a certain area has the exact same abilities as Tsukasa. This should make him curious enough to at least show up, and then they can ambush him and capture him. The plan is basically to grab Tsukasa and make him warp to a dungeon and separate him from the Guardian after he summons it. So that's basically the plan. They're ready in the area. They use Tsukasa's friends as bait. They call them and tell them that there's gonna be a swordsman in the area. There's a special swordsman that is somehow related to this whole weirdness that is going on in the world. BT is conspiring with Sora because she's interested herself in Tsukasa. When they get there, they actually kind of figure out that this whole swordsman thing must be some kind of lie. So they try and stop Tsukasa from coming by sending him messages. And I know it's weird because you know that Tsukasa is not really in front of a monitor, but for some reason he can actually see messages or calls or things like that, so maybe to him it's not like a world by itself. It's still sort of like a computer world that he can hear or see the messages somehow. He says that it's too late, that he's already there. The Crimson Knights show up, try and attack him. He calls the Guardian, and nobody can get close to him because the Guardian's just too powerful for them to handle. Subaru shows up, and she reveals that she was not told of the events that are going on here, so it was not approved by her. And, you know, she's the leader, so she was supposed to be told about this, but Silver Knight didn't tell her because he knew that she was just going to say no, that she doesn't want to do things this way, or that they don't have the right, because she knows the rights of the players and all that. The Guardian responds like defensively towards her, tries to kill her, and a knight protects her. He gets killed, and then all of a sudden Krim appears riding a grunty, and he manages to catch up to Tsukasa. Krim happens to be like another really powerful player because he's been playing the game like since beta, and he's the one that actually later on reveals stuff about Fragment, the first version of the game. he knocks them down and he tells everybody to do what they have to do. They teleport him to the dungeon, separating him from the monster, and they put him in a little cave cell that has an anti-magic field. So at this point he doesn't have any way of getting out or calling his guardian or whatever. Subaru pays him a visit. She gets to know him a little bit. They kind of understand each other a lot more than any other character that has talked to him. And he just says that the only thing he really wanted all along was just to be left alone. So she understands now at this point that he's always been like a victim. He's not been attacking people, it's people who's been attacking him. So she decides to help him to go through the legal means of letting him go. But then all of a sudden Sora shows up and he betrays Silver Knight. He gets through the anti-magic field and he's like, I want Tsukasa. Subaru stands her ground. She doesn't want him to have him, but Tsukasa voluntarily follows Sora out. He says, well, the reason, he says, like, you said that I could go, so I'm just gonna go. They run out, but they intercept with Krim, but Sora stays behind, says, run, you go on ahead, I'm gonna take care of this guy. Outside he meets Mimiru, who then explains to him that she had nothing to do with the ambush, but Tsukasa doesn't believe her very much. And he says, he just says, can I go? And she says, well, okay, and he goes away. Then there's this rumor that the Guardian or Guardians are showing up in different servers, attacking players. They think it's Tsukasa, but Subaru reassures to Silver Knight that he has nothing to do with that, that he's an innocent, that he's always been the victim, and so forth. Later, this whole episode goes with Mimiru, who says that she wants to wait for Tsukasa to show up because she wants to tell him something. And she actually waits from morning to the evening, almost at night, for a bunch of hours, and she became a topic on the forums. Everybody was saying that there's this Heavy Blade, which, by the way, that's the name of her job in class. It's Heavy Blade, it's waiting for somebody, and she's just sitting there, so she waited all day for him. He sort of like out of curiosity at night decided to show up and see if she was still there, and he found her. He was impressed by it, and she said that she just wanted to protect him. She offered herself as his guardian, and he accepted. But that's basically a way of saying that I want to be your friend, and he accepted her offer. Since that made him happy, all of a sudden the area where he hangs out with the little girl all of a sudden became pleasant. So at this point we sort of understand that this area is connected to his emotions. Like when he's in turmoil or when he's depressed, the area becomes unpleasant. When he's happy, the area becomes pleasant. So at this point you can pretty much tell that. Krim becomes closer to BT, who talk about the legendary item called the Key of the Twilight, which is gonna be the next, it's gonna be the topic till the very end of the series, is that all the characters become motivated and they want to find this item for different reasons. BT doesn't really know why she wants it, she just wants to find it for her own reasons, but she doesn't say what her reasons are. But not a lot of people believe that that item is real. They say that it's just some kind of legend, but the legend goes something along the lines that whoever possesses the Key of the Twilight will be able to bend the rules of the world to his will. Like, nobody will be able to defeat the character who possesses this power. So Tsukasa tries to reach out to Subaru, but he has to go through Silver Knight. He asks if he can see her, but Silver Knight lies and said that she doesn't want to see anyone, and she actually left him a message saying that whoever comes and visits, he should tell her right away. So it's kind of like out of jealousy that he doesn't want anybody to see her. In the real world, his father is contemplating disconnecting Tsukasa from the machines, the life-supporting machines. That's how abusive he is. He just wants to get rid of him. The doctor tells him that Tsukasa's vital signs are not, they're good enough to consider giving him time to wake up. But his father's like really insistent that he doesn't want him to, that he just wants them to unplug him. So now it's like a danger zone. Like, in the real world, he's at risk to be disconnected, and that's one concern that one can think about to log out. The area where when he comes back, it's completely messed up. The girl is binded by vines. He tries to set her free, but he can't. In the real world, his father unplugs the machine without anybody's approval. The doctors manage to replug Tsukasa back. In the game, he actually feels pain when this happens, like he was dying or something. But then he just recovered, and he feels now at this point that Morgana is manipulating him, because she said to him that the reason she bounded the girl was that she thought that he was gonna leave, and she said, since you're gonna leave, I'm gonna tie her up so that she doesn't leave. So it's kind of like a blackmail, and now he feels like he's being blackmailed by Morgana. So to give her peace, he just says that he's never gonna leave, and Morgana unbound the little girl. So that's where he becomes interested in the Key of the Twilight. He gathers with Bear and Mimiru, and he says that he wants to find this item. The reason he wants the Key of the Twilight is to open the little girl's eyes, to wake her up and free her from the prison, basically, of Morgana. And they agree that they want to help him. Krim, his reasons for wanting to find the Key of the Twilight is to offer it to Subaru, who is also interested in having the Key of the Twilight for her own reasons. They ask Silver Knight if he knows the words, because in this game, when you travel to an area, you need to know at least 3 words to travel there through the Chaos Gate. And they're asking him if he has knowledge of the words that would take them to an area, because in a message appeared on the forums that said, I wrote it down somewhere around here, 1 second. Okay, it says, when the Twilight Eye doth open, so too shall the path to me. This course with me, and against that power fight. When the key that overturns all is possessed, everything shall unfold. So they all think that this has to be related to the Key of the Twilight, because it mentions key. So Silver Knight claims that even if he knew the words to that secret area, there would be no way of them going there anyway, because everybody was blocked from heading to that area. Bear is contacted at midnight by this strange character whose name is Helba. This is a really important character in the storyline, because Helba happens to be a really skilled hacker, and she's really powerful. She's probably the most powerful character of all of them, but she acts as a deity. She doesn't interfere directly with whatever they do. She just monitors everything they do, and once in a while she sort of like lends them a little help. But she doesn't fight herself. She just stands in the distance and observes what they do. So it's kind of weird that they have such a powerful ally and she doesn't help them directly. That's why she acts as a deity. She offers them the words that they need to go to the area, but of course they need Tsukasa's power to go to this area. Aside from that, BT and Krim go to the church area, and she says that this area has to be the place where where the Eye of the Twilight opens. And she says that since she's a wave master, she can make it happen. Since she figured out the riddle, and she uses her magic to disperse the fog that has surrounded the church. And when the fog is cleared, it actually happens. The Eye of the Twilight opens, and then the path is open with a portal that will take them to the area where, the area that the message in the forum was referring to. And the area is pretty weird. So they found something at this point. Bear Mimiru meet with Tsukasa, who they ask him if he can teleport them to this area, because previously, that I forgot to mention, Morgana had provided him the power to travel between servers without the need to use the Chaos Gate, so he can pretty much go anywhere he wants. And that's one ability, his second ability, so he says, yeah, sure, I can take you guys there. And they go there with his help, and then a race begins with all these characters. That is a team where Krim and BT are, with Sora tailing them, hiding. Then there's Tsukasa, Bear, and Mimiru. The area becomes a little dangerous and hostile towards them. The floors are breaking, and Tsukasa feels that Morgana is responsible for it, that she's trying to not allow him to get further to the truth. They just keep running and getting to the area. Krim stops to fight Sora. It's kind of cool because these two are the strongest characters that we know up until this point, putting aside Helba, of course. BT used Krim so that he can be distracted with Sora, so that she can get her hands on the Key of the Twilight herself. So it was all a trick from her. She's the first one to reach the center room, where when she enters, she finds a man who is upside down on a really weird chair that looks like a monster that is holding him. This man is not identified at this point of the story, but they refer to him as the Broken Man. She comes out of the room, and the bear and the others find her. They ask her if she saw something, what did you see? And she's like freaked out, walks away, and she's like, it's not here, there's nothing here. So they enter themselves to make sure, and they find the man, and the man just basically starts to loop a message saying that he loves someone, that he wanted his feelings in a tangible form. He says that he fails as a father, that she is their only hope. He's saying a message that in the end it makes sense to Tsukasa, because he says, please look after her. And now Tsukasa feels that that he says, "I found it," like he's referring to the little girl. That he thinks that the little girl is the key of the Twilight. The area goes into self-destruct. Everything just starts to crumble. They try to run away. Bear falls into he just falls. Tsukasa feels that somebody's coming in. It's Maha, and Maha summons his guardian. The guardian tries to attack Mimiru, but Tsukasa pushes her aside. He gets attacked instead, and for the first time in the series, he actually dies. Now, for the other characters, you think, well, they die and they can just come back, log back in, but for Tsukasa, you're thinking, what's going to happen to him? Because he's actually in the game. He feels pain. He's not, like, outside wearing a goggles or whatever. And Mimiru pretty much thinks that he's dead, like he's really dead. They're all ported out of the area. In the real world, they show you the scene where Tsukasa's vital signs go to 0, but they actually manage to revive him later. They're all teleported out, and then they show this sequence of craziness where Tsukasa comes back to life. So he's not excluded from the rules of the game. He comes back to life as if nothing really happened to him. He finds himself with Subaru, who they establish a relationship that is a lot deeper than any other relationship there is in the series. They sort of understand each other a lot more than the other characters because they're kind of like the same. So she tells him, like, can you feel my heartbeat and all that. Like, she's just trying to tell him that you're alive, that you're not some copy, or that there's a place you can return to, and that's the real world. She tells the others that he's okay, that he's alive, that he's well, and Tsukasa's now desperate because he knows he doesn't remember what he said back in the room with the broken man when he said that he found her, but he's still very desperate to open her eyes, and he just doesn't know what to do. Silver Knight now begins to rebel against Subaru, saying that, we have to arrest Tsukasa. He just keeps insisting with that. She keeps trying to make him understand that he's a victim, that he's not the guy making all this mess go on. And he goes as far as to tell her that she's become weak and that she's scared. Because since she's a leader, she's running away from her responsibilities of punishing even those who are her friends. So she understands at this point that the Crimson Knights are all pretty messed up. The whole group is falling apart, so she makes her decision and she disbands the group for good. And now there are no more Crimson Knights. So for now, I'll stop the explanations here, and on the next one, hopefully I'll be able to finish the story. Thank you for listening. This has been Usumachi.